That's not how you count.
No, it's not, but it worked. Hi, everyone. I'm Almighty Stross, that's Sardo, at
Hi,
3 a.m. in the
everybody.
morning.
Eh, yeah.
It's not 3 a.m. anywhere where this is. Wait, that's not true. It's 3 a.m. in the UK right now where I'm at.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they're 5 hours ahead of me. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Skeleton Crew podcast. I'm Almighty Stross, aka Stross, that's Sardo,
Hi.
where we win. This is one of the rare times where we know what we want to talk about immediately because something happened this week, and we're like, well, there you go. There you go. We got it.
What's that meme of the girl from Phineas and Ferb kicking down the door like, Mom, holy fuck!
Holy fuck, Mom! Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that. Because, Sardo, would you like to introduce it or should I?
I want to introduce it. All right,
Absolutely, go
Mom
for
said
it.
it's my turn on the Xbox. Um,
In fairness, it was because of Xbox that we're here somehow. Weirdly. So go for
we
it.
are discussing we're discussing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, otherwise maybe known as Yakuza 8, if you nasty.
If you're old.
Yes, it's some stuff dropped, some news came out.
They had a whole event.
We
So,
we got
there was stuff.
we got some information about the new
Yeah.
game,
So,
and I'm really excited.
yes, so am I. So I'm gonna say what was dropped and when. Tuesday evening this week, I believe at the Tokyo Game Show,
Mhm.
because I believe that was happening this week if I remember correctly.
Yes.
RGG Studios and Sega, providers of furry bait since 19 whatever. I forget what Sonic came out.
Whatever.
Yeah. But basically, what happened was they had a stream event where they talked about the next mainline Yakuza game because they've announced two. The other one is The Man Who Erased His Name, and the next one is that's coming out. That's coming out this year. The next one, Infinite Wealth, is the next mainline entry, which is coming out next February, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It's exciting. So they announced a bunch of story stuff, a lot of gameplay stuff, and we have a lot to talk about because you're a Yakuza fan.
I am.
I'm a Yakuza fan.
You are.
And hey, we got to talk about our boy Ichiban. Because they've announced that when they announced Infinite Wealth, it was okay. First things first, props for having the greatest trailer of all time.
Yes.
It's like, how are we going to introduce this new game? Our new protagonist is butt-ass naked on a beach in Hawaii. Love it. No notes. Because that's what they did.
That's exactly what they did.
100% what happened. And there was no proper, explanation after that. They just announced it was happening. It was coming out next year. More information would be revealed later. We're now at later. Congratulations, Sardo. Welcome to later. How does it feel?
It's pretty wild, Stross, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. So we learned the main plot of Infinite Wealth is that Ichiban is looking for his mumsy.
Yes.
And she's in Hawaii. Aloha oi, everybody.
He's looking for his mom.
And hey, that's fun. That's not even the biggest news from that game, which is the funniest part.
Oh no, it's not by a long shot.
For starters, all the stuff that happened that they announced that the announcement that Daniel Day Kim is a part of the cast and so is Danny Trejo is third.
And Danny Trejo is just a fucking character. It's not just he's voicing a guy. He is he's a. I'm sorry.
Well, this is
They modeled a
yeah.
character on him. Danny Trejo is in Yakuza.
It should be noted that this is something they've been doing for like ever. Like they would
Oh
model.
yeah.
This is not a new thing, but it's
Oh, and
just kind
they've
of.
gotten
Oh no, go for it. You first.
and they've gotten some like not insubstantial actors and generally famous people to play roles.
Yeah, of course. The now obviously there's the infamous English dub of Yakuza One, but like actually using an actor's face, they've been doing that for ages.
Now, Strauss, for those of us in the audience who don't know about the infamous Yakuza 1 dub, who are you talking about?
Oh, I could talk. There's like several guys. Like there's Mark
Okay,
Madsen's there.
drop the one that we all know.
Oh, Mark Hamill's there. Mark Madsen's there. Who else is in
And
there?
who does Mark Hamill
He
voice?
voices your beloved Goro Majima.
If you don't believe me, look it up. It's on YouTube.
The funniest part about it is that he does not remember this happening.
He has no memory of it. They
And
mind wiped him.
in fairness, I think everyone kind of agrees it's okay that he doesn't remember. It wasn't very good.
It was. I love Mark Hamill, but it was not his best effort.
Mark Hamill's not even like the bad point in that dub, which should tell you a lot. Point is not a great dub. We
Yeah.
get it. Anyway, infinite wealth.
Hmm.
So them putting Danny Trejo just in it is not abnormal. It's just wild.
Yeah.
It's like, well, here we are. So as we learn, it's another RPG, which is fun. Now, I have a question for you, Sardo. Actually, what was your thoughts of them switching up the gameplays?
You mean like in the previous game,
Yeah, quick
like
opinion. Switching to a turn-based combat system in an RPG. From
I loved it. I
oh,
thought
I
it was
loved
great,
it too.
and I mean,
You finish your thought, please.
I like both gameplay styles for the respective series. I love regular old Yakuza combat. I love slamming and punching and pounding. I also love the turn-based combat. It's all very good, and I thought turn-based suited it surprisingly well.
Hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I liked it too because like I feel like it's fair to say that the game is great. Like
It's very good.
it also like a dragon scratched a very important itch that I've been having for years, which is an RPG that of the turn-based variety that despite takes place in the normal everyday.
Hmm.
There's no magic. Everything that happens, it's just people doing shit.
It's more not grounded. Grounded's the wrong word, but it's yeah, there's no magic and shit. And also like all of the cast is over 25,
Yeah.
which I think is a nice change of
Who's
pace.
the youngest character in that cast? Seiko?
I think Seiko's probably the youngest.
And she's like 30.
Yeah. It's like I love that for a change we get to like commandeer a cast of 30-year-olds.
Yeah. But the
And
point
they're
that
all
we're making here is we're very excited because this is now Kiryu's second send off. Kiryu is the original main protagonist, basically of every single game up until 7.
Kiryu has that Miyazaki problem where you give him the big send off, you have a party with cake and everything, you wish him well, and then the next fucking day he's back at the office.
I mean, in this case, I get it. A lot of people weren't super satisfied with 6.
Yeah.
And I get that. 6 got kind of weird.
6 was unusual, and this is not like intended as a critique or anything. And I love Kiryu.
Yeah.
It's just
He deserved a better send off.
yes. And do you think 8 is going to be the one to do it properly?
I hope so.
Because we got a massive thing dropped on us during the
Yes.
trailer.
Well, okay,
Kiryu.
serious business mode, okay? Everyone,
Yeah, this
no giggles, please don't.
yeah, Like, because
He's got cancer.
Kiryu is terminally ill with
Yeah,
cancer.
he's got the
He's
cancer. Officially,
potentially dying
yeah, he's potentially dying, but knowing Kiryu, who probably will actually punch cancer.
in the face. And
My favorite was the one comic I sent you where it's like Machua will in fact cure cancer just so he can beat up Kiryu.
because he's the one who needs to take
Yeah,
down Kiryu.
exactly. But for as serious as it is, it doesn't mean Yakuza doesn't have an incredible amount of tonal whiplash.
Oh yeah, well, what is that game if not permanently breaking your neck from whiplash?
Oh, absolutely. There is no game series that will absolutely throw you for a loop quite like any of the Yakuza games. Serious Yakuza crime drama filled with like just batshit insanity.
Like on one hand, save the woman you love, but also on the other hand, you are fighting a man on a motorcycle in the sewers.
Try to figure out what happened to a lady you knew and might like, but also you have to fight in a giant golden castle underneath a different castle and fight two tigers.
But that's
And
that's
that's
always
the
been the thing of
that's
Yakuza.
the, and that's like, by the way, the one of those we just mentioned was the second game.
Yep.
The Yakuza, the series weird tonal madness has always been a thing.
This is consistent for it.
Yes. This is a classic example of the series just being batshit wild since day one.
Yeah.
It stayed consistent.
But the thing about Kiryu being here is Kiryu does things his own way. He always has.
Mm.
He always will. Kiryu punches out the user interface. He literally beats the shit out of the gameplay style.
Okay, so to explain, probably the best gameplay reveal, because they revealed a bunch of mini games, and you know the turn base is back. It probably updated a little bit, but probably one of the things I'm glad is that this is taking place in a new area. And you'll probably agree with me when I say this, and we're gonna say it a lot on my stream because we are actually playing Like a Dragon on my stream soon, or have started when this comes out.
Technically, it's going to be yesterday as of the upload date.
And also tomorrow. But for us, it's the future. Like, when you went to go to, like... I remember when I first played the game and I was in Sotenbori, which is the Osaka location, for those who don't know. I remember I got into, like, 3 fights in, like, 2 steps.
Yeah.
Because the gameplay wasn't really... Because in the old school beat-em-up style, like, 2 fights is, like, a couple of minutes wasted of your time at best.
Yeah.
But in, like, a Dragon, it's like, are you ready for, like, 10 minutes to go by of you doing turn-based combat?
Battles are longer.
Yes. And my hope is with Infinite Wealth, especially because it's now in the more wide open streets of an American city of, I guess, Honolulu, if I remember correctly. You got more space to avoid combat, but you don't want to do it. So, yes. In the combat, they reviewed that, hey, Kiryu's a party member now, and his special ability is, fuck your turn order, I do what I want, get ready to get your ass kicked. This is the greatest. This is the greatest power in the history of turn-based combat, and I'm including the time I played all of Persona 5 with the I win button. But yeah, so there was new characters revealed, a new location. I believe this is the first time we've ever been like outside of Japan for the Yakuza series.
Yeah,
which is neat.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, of the stuff revealed, Sardo, what was the one that you made you go like, whoa? Outside of the cancer, obviously, that takes the cake.
I this is gonna be silly.
Mm.
I Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo?
Yeah, it is incredibly like what?
Also, the other thing that caught my eye. So we do get Kiryu's not the only one who's returning.
Yeah,
We
no.
also got to see three more of our boys return. Of course, Goro Majima. We have to have Majima back. If you got Kiryu, you got to have Majima.
Hmm.
And to my friend Kimmy's delight, shout out to Kimmy. How you doing, Kimmy? Saijima is back, and he's wearing a turtleneck.
Daigo is too. He was also
Daigo
there.
is Daigo is also there. I I don't really feel one way or the other about Daigo. He's very much there.
No, that's not true. That how dare you talk about Ryotaro Dojima's brother and Nanako's uncle?
You know, you make a salient point. Also, I wish they would bring back his puffy white coat from like Yakuza 2,
From his like I'm 22 period.
his Michelin Man coat. But they're all back. They are living their lives as fishermen, I think. Yeah,
It's something like that. It's really odd.
they're they're fishermen now.
Yeah, it was a wild trailer just filled with so many things. Like we meet this one new character who screws Ichiban over, and it's like, yeah, I gotta help you, man. And it's just like, yeah, that makes sense for Ichiban.
Because Ichiban is a good man.
He's a good boy. He's like
Sometimes to his own detriment.
very much to his own detriment. Loses all his
And
money
also,
again, which is just like, come on, man, really?
we also have Ichiban on a Segway. It's the year of the Segway.
I can't believe there of the past like 2 months, we've had two trailers featuring the main protagonist on a Segway in an
What are the
RPG.
odds?
Cloud and Ichiban are going to ride Segways together at the beach.
And the more I talk about it, the more this trailer just feels like we didn't start the fire. Because there's so much. It all comes at you so quickly.
God, there was so much. We got like a new girl in here. She's cute.
She's very cute.
Kaoru's back. That's neat. I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what's up with her, I guess, because she hasn't been seen since Yakuza 2. Speaking of Yakuza 2, Yuki's back. Also, speaking of Yakuza 2,
Yuki, who has aged phenomenally, good for her.
she is 57 and looks like she's 30 max.
30, if that.
Yeah, if that.
Jungi Han is back, and I saw him in a cowboy outfit.
He's in a cowboy outfit. We got some new classes. That's fun. And I hope the classes are actually worth it this time, because there was one problem, and you probably noticed this too.
Yes.
Most of the other classes just weren't worth it in Like a Dragon.
A lot of it was down to aesthetics.
Yeah, like there were only like two characters really benefited from changing classes.
Yeah.
And that was like Seiko, because for some reason she has a physical combat class and she's a mage.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one was Adachi, not that Adachi, different one. We're talking about a less awful one. Significantly less. He's not a wiener man. He's a big boy.
This is a good Adachi.
And Adachi, like, you could have switched to like security guard because he could make that work. And then there's like
also
Zhao could be in a couple of other classes that also worked for him. Especially in one hilarious fight.
For the most part, a lot of the classes in 7 were it was a lot of it just felt cosmetic, and he did it just for kind of shits and giggles. I don't know. I'm not a master Yakuza player, so I could be missing something, but
from what I understood, almost everyone agreed that there was really no point in changing most of your party members' classes.
Yeah.
Because most of their best skills were in their base class, which is fine, but it's also like you have all these classes and you're never going to really use them.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you could make Zhao into a chef, but like he's the only guy who can make it work because of his like odd stat block. Sure,
Yeah.
you could change Junji Han to anything else, but why change it when he's the only guy who has the skill that is no and damage type that is gun? His
The
magic is
most
gun.
powerful elemental. Well, is a gun not just a magic wand in its own way?
In this setting, kinda yeah. But it was like that. So this. It really, if I remember correctly, like the RPG aspect of Yakuza 7 was like kind of a late idea that everyone was like, "Oh hell yeah," and then we all went, "Oh hell yeah," and it's just like it wasn't perfect. Fair to say?
No, it I think it'll definitely benefit from some more thought and some more layering.
It's been 4 years, and it's going to be almost 5 years since it originally came out in 2019. So it's going to be like, much like with Dragon's Dogma, it's something that like you give it a second pass, and you're like, there's ways you can easily fix this and make it better.
Yeah.
You learned your lesson, though. There was the ominous statements made by the like head of RGG Studios while he was sitting on an ominous chair.
As you do.
It's like, it's not always going to be the case with Kiryu or turn-based. And I'm like, that's terrifyingly stated while you're sitting ominously on a chair, sir. But all right, I'm down with whatever the hell you guys want to do.
He kind of dresses like you'd be the final boss in a RPG,
Yeah.
so.
Hey, why not? But yeah, so Infinite Wealth, like, showed, like, it has a fishing mini game because you can't be an RPG without it. Though this one means you have to fight a shark and a squid.
Level 45 shark. The
Which
only
would be,
thing men fear.
in 2 years, the second time I had to fight a shark boss. In an RPG
odds?
from Japan, which is weird. I actually sent you the picture of that shark.
You did.
He's a chunky boy. He's from
He's chunky.
Octopath 2.
Yeah.
You can fight him out at sea.
Well, I would hope so. That's where sharks belong.
This is true. But, yeah. And let's see, what else about Infinite Wealth? We have a new character. I forgot what his name is because he's the one with the glasses that's not Nanban.
Yeah, he's the non-Nanba character who also wears glasses, looks like he's having a slightly better time.
That's not hard to do. Nanban looked like he was never having a good time at any point in the game.
Nanba, my beloved pigeon man.
We got new karaoke songs. That's fun.
We do, and Kiryu and Ichiban, it looks like they sing together for one.
Hey, look at us.
And Ichiban screams like strong bad in one of them, according to you.
Well, not to me. I didn't post that tweet. That someone pointed it out. I thought that was just funny.
That's true.
Seiko gets a rock jam. That's great.
She does. Good for her, girl
And
boss.
After all these years, Bakumitai gets a sequel.
Fuck yeah.
And Kiryu gets it, which is the right person to sing that song. Everyone else does Bakumitai, and it's not the same.
The only right person to do Bakumitai is our one and only Dame Dane guy.
It's Kuroda's vocals.
Yeah.
He's got the voice for it. It's just, man, you want a sappy I've Been a Fool song? That's the man. Kuroda-san, you're the one for us.
Classic.
And also, speaking of which, no one dresses like you either.
Inimitable. Truly legendary. Takaya Kuroda is unmatched in style.
That man walks around dressed like a character from the game he's most famous for.
He dresses like a Mr. Shakedown.
But hotter.
And I love that for him.
He's great. Unlike, who plays Majima? Because he looks like a dad.
Yeah. Oh, let me... Daisuke...
It's just so funny because he's the most dad-looking motherfucker on the planet.
Hidenari Ugaki. I
Yeah.
apologize. It wasn't even close
No,
to
it's just
Daisuke.
so funny
Yeah.
because he's so dad looking.
He's like
He
he's
looks
got
like
like
a
a
dad.
round face. He's like very friendly looking.
And then you hear the voice come out of his mouth, and you're just like, well, like Kuroda sounds like how you think. This man though, he looks like a dad.
Ugaki's kind of got like the Majima smile when he's really going for it though.
Oh, probably. It's just really funny to think. Like you look like a dad, and then you were played by Mark Hamill, who looks like a dad, and now you're played by Matt Mercer, who looks like a cool dad.
It's just Majima's fate to be voiced by dads.
It's true.
And his voice actor's always wearing like a cabbie hat.
You always got that hat on. It's great. It's great.
But yeah, very, very excited for all of that. I'm kind of curious what Majima's role in this new game is going
Yeah,
to be.
that like one of the things about the previous game is that the role of the previous characters was a bit minimal,
Hmm.
but important. Like
Yeah.
they were more movers and shakers behind the scene because it always felt like uh, I'm not gonna say it, but you know which fight I'm talking about,
Oh
where
yes.
how the actual outcome is not what you thought it was going to be.
Oh, I am fully aware.
But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious to see because like their role, they only popped up for a few minutes. They heard us. Our Jujitsu is like, all right, you want them to be older now? Here you go, and we're all like, yes, thank you. We will take this food and run with it forever.
It's just, it feels exactly the way a trailer for a new Yakuza game should play out. It's just like, so much is going on. What the hap is fucking.
Cool new
I'm
stuff
so
is.
ready.
Oh yeah, I'm so ready. So okay, Sardo, we only have so much scraps of information. What do you think is going to happen in Infinite Wealth?
Um, it's a tall order, Stross. It's a Yakuza game. Uh,
Yeah, trying to guess what happens in a Yakuza plot is about as easy as guessing the next word that's going to come out of someone's mouth and they're speaking a different language. But you know they know three different languages. So you don't know which one they're going to say.
I predict Ichiban's mom. Maybe she's not necessarily somebody important or in power in and of herself, but she's got like some kind of grand conspiracy tied up around her. There's something going on with her. I there's got to be something that shakes out with Ichiban's mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think the big twist is going to be is that I do agree with you. I don't think his mom's going to be important, but she's going to be attached to something comically important that makes.
It's yeah. It's going to be kind of like an empty lot sort of scenario.
For those who don't understand the empty lot scenario, it was in Yakuza 0, which is the prequel to the whole series.
Now, Strauss, does anybody understand the empty lot scenario?
I actually do. Like, it makes total sense. It's just everything that unfolds around it is fucking nuts.
Yes. But anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah, the empty lot was the Tojo clan, which is the clan that Kiri is like the overarching clan that Kiri is a part of. He's
Yes.
specifically part of the Dojima clan. You know, think of it as you have the smaller family that's attached to the branch. They're like, this is the branch family to the big family.
Yeah.
So Tojo's the big one. That's like the one that is like the big boss. And then the Dojima is like a smaller, like more regional one, so that feeds into to the Tojo, not Hojo. That's a different thing.
Very different.
Very different. It's very samurai on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But the point was, this happens in the late 80s during the bubble of Japan's great economic growth in the 80s. And they're buying up a whole bunch of land because they realize, like, oh, we could just legally buy all this land. And it is way better on our investment, and it's real estate. And so they do. but they can't finish this big project because there's this tiny plot of land. It's this little empty lot that no one knows who owns it. And shenanigans ensue. I think that's fair to say.
Shenanigans certainly do ensue.
A lot ensues. It's a little hard to follow the first time you play Yakuza 0, but like once you get it, it makes a lot of sense. It's basically money laundering.
Yes, it makes sense, I'd say, in context, and also, I don't know, once you get a little more of a background on why some of these criminal elements work the way they do.
Yeah, because like I think the biggest when we were introduced to Yakuza, because you and I both started with 0.
Yes.
Like a lot of the modern Yakuza fan base really started with 0 because they were always kind of niche.
Yeah.
But 0's like the first time it's like, okay, here you go. Here's this one. And everyone started playing and everyone's like, I get it. And then everybody got it. And it's just it's one of those things where it's like, it's this like very Japanese way of like doing things. So it's like kind of weird. And, you know, I don't want to sound like look at the big old Western man talking down to the Japanese folk.
It's just different. It's a different culture.
It's a different culture, and the way like business works over in Japan is different. So like all this stuff, like why does it matter that a guy died in this lot? That could have happened at any point. And then it's like, oh right, it's because it's supposedly Kiryu who killed this guy at the empty lot, and it ties back to them, and then they get investigated. It took a couple of go-throughs for me to understand what was going on in Yakuza 0 after the first playthrough.
But basically, there's a whole lot of fuckery going on there, and it is my personal hypothesis that Ichiban's mom is probably tied up in something similar.
Yeah, I think that's a fair guess. I think that's an absolutely fair guess. I agree with that. There's the other option where it's that actually his mom and just like his mom's twin.
Oh, the twin.
And I only say this because this is technically not the first time Yakuza has broached that subject. And also because like the bait and switch is not something they haven't done either. They are very famous for baiting and switching and absolutely fucking with you in ways that you're not ready for.
Oh, they bob and weave like you would not believe.
Like, some Yakuza games have, like, 3 is wild. Like, some of the stuff that happens at the end of 3 is nuts.
Yeah, 3 is a little more polarizing, I think, and I think part of that is because there is just so much shit happening.
Yeah. Like, from my understanding, the ones that are super popular are 2.
Mm-hmm.
Which I get. Once you play 2, you get why it's super popular. Because, like, its twists are interesting and make sense. Even though it's absolutely still absolutely bonkers in places.
But it's solidly written for the most part.
Yeah, like, the actual twists are like, oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
0, because while it takes a bit to like understand what's happening, it's once you get it, it's like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's just the problem with 0 is that you had 2 protagonists who had wildly different sides of the plot.
Also, at the risk of sounding cynical, I think a big part of the reason that 0 is so popular is because it features sad, mopey, long-haired Majima, and people go apeshit for that. I go apeshit for that.
Oh yeah, no, and it's not that I think it's poorly written. It's just that it's popular. It makes sense once you get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's about money laundering and real estate being useful as an asset.
It's assets.
Yeah, it's assets, Joker. Oh, you thought you were going to escape that, everybody? Oh, we're never going to get this out of our system.
Never.
Well, it's the same company. Forever. It's here forever. Also, 7 was really well liked. People,
Yes.
and I think 7 might be it's one of their best written ones in terms of what they're talking about.
I would completely agree with that.
I don't know, like I 4, 5, and 6 are like depending on who you ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know some people who really like 4, some people really like 5. I think most people feel 6 is like fine, though it gets weird.
Yeah. It's
What's the secret of
again,
Onomichi, Sardo? What do you think it was going to be? It wasn't. I definitely know it wasn't what it turned it out to be.
what do you mean it's not Ono Michio?
Onimichio is a saint.
Oh no.
Michio, protector of the children.
But 6 was, I think, an emotionally fraught one for a lot of people.
It was. There are choices made in 6 that I feel like people either really liked it or really hated it.
And I think too on a more it's not necessarily a thing of like good or bad. It just is. It's the whole thing of Kiryu getting older, Kiryu becoming somebody different, Kiryu making bad choices, because as much as we love Kiryu and know that he cares about his kids and he will, you know, blow his own arm off to defend orphans because they don't get to dream.
Mm-hmm.
Kiryu's not a very good dad. Like from like a stable parenting perspective.
Yeah. In terms of actually taking care of kids, great dad.
Like
in terms of raising
like,
good kids, great dad.
like the love he has for his children and the care he provides to them, A plus, but he's
Stable environment? No.
you can be bad parent without being bad parent, if you know what I mean. And I think
the best way to put it is Kiryu does his best, but the universe and life that he lives just doesn't let that happen.
and I think as the series progresses, it makes Kiryu as a character more complicated. And that's tough because we love Kiryu and we support him, but you have to face that with the fact that the man does not always make good decisions.
Or the best decisions. Or is sometimes presented with really shitty decisions.
Yeah, and sometimes like it's not his fault, but other times he just makes bad choices.
Like
and
the ending to 6, it's like he's presented with like an insane choice. It's like this doesn't end well, no matter which way he picks it.
But you know, whether it's his fault or like the twist of fate or whatever, the fact is that Kiryu's life is kind of fucked, and he's not going to necessarily be the most stable or grounded figure all the time. And I think
that's what the trailer of Infinite Wealth told us, when people whose lives have been dealt shitty hands.
Yeah. But I think 6 was tough for a lot of folks because we've been kind of forced to look more at Kiryu as a person instead of Kiryu as like a cool guy.
No, he's still a cool guy.
Oh, he's always been cool.
Except for when he's handling a computer. Where then he's like, oh, you are old.
He's an old man. Leave him alone.
He hunt and packs.
But and I'd say none of this to like shit on Kiryu in his writing or anything. It's kind of the way it is.
It's definitely 6 was divisive. I don't think anyone outright said it was the worst thing ever. I think it's just people.
It was just.
It did choices that I think made sense, but not everyone was going to like it.
Just because a choice makes sense doesn't always mean it's going to be popular.
Yeah, and I don't think people were mad about Kiryu being retired as the main protagonist, because everyone's like, no, that's fair. He's been the main character of basically every Yakuza game since day one, and you know what? there's only so many stories you can tell with him.
And people love Ichiban,
Yeah.
as they should.
God, I remember when Ichiban was first revealed, everyone's like, I don't know. And then when Ichiban was finally like properly introduced to us in his game, everyone's oh, this is the best.
Do you remember beta concept art Ichiban,
Oh,
like the very first Ichiban we got?
I remember when he was first introduced in like the trailer, and he looks so worse.
Oh, he looked busted.
He looks so much worse than he did in the final, which is good for him. He went from looking so bad to like, okay, same look, but you managed to make it work.
He looked very rough.
Yeah. But it, like, in the end, by the way, points to RGG Studios making a new protagonist that everybody liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know anyone who dislikes Ichiban, and people don't even dislike Ichiban, they just miss having Kiryu. Like, think about how cool you have to, like, how well you have to pull this off to make a fan base who had a character through, let's see, 6 mainline titles and like 4 spin-offs. Let's see.
And with Kiryu,
Dead Souls,
you're
Ishin, Zero, at least 3. No, there's the other one of Ishin. It's like Kensen, I believe. Kessen.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4
Kessen,
spin-offs.
yeah. But and a character like Kiryu, who I cannot overblow the oomph of this character, because you look at him striding towards the camera in his white suit, and you just think, this guy fucks.
He doesn't.
I mean, not fucks in a sexual sense, but like, you know what I mean. He's got that it factor. I'm waving my hands as if anybody can see it, but the point is, Kiryu is a tough act to follow.
It is, and they've managed to actually follow it up with a character people like.
And Ichiban is, I think, even more of a compelling character in different ways.
Oh yeah,
not to say that one's better than the other, but I don't know. Ichiban really speaks to me.
I think what works about Ichiban is that he's so different from Kiryu that you have like, there's just something different about him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they were right to go the direction that they did, because you weren't going to do, you could make a less intelligent person would have just made a second Kiryu, and it would not have worked.
It wouldn't have been the same at all. And the fact that they chose to do something so different is what really guaranteed their success.
I agree. I think you're absolutely right. It's like, the fact that they picked a character that is so vastly personally different really makes sense.
And so immensely down on his luck, because we all love an underdog, but yeah. Ichiban is the king of underdogs.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it's... Sorry.
I like an anecdote to that. I remember when I first started playing the game was my friend Riley was like, this is the poorest I've ever been in a Yakuza game, and it's true.
It is.
It's fascinating.
And I think Ichiban is a real masterclass in not only like a character that's good in their own right and effective in their own right, but a character whose traits and background and everything really succeed in telling an overall story, because that's one of the big overlying themes of Yakuza 7 is talking about, you know, the gray zones in Japan, and kind of the people who go unnoticed by the majority
The people who
and the
end up,
underdogs of life.
yeah, and the people who end up in those spaces, and Ichiban's like, no, they good people.
Yeah. And we've discussed this. I think we discussed this in our 3-hour long Persona 5 retrospective.
Please listen to that one. I'm actually really proud of how intelligent we talked about some things in that.
You don't have to listen to the whole thing, just listen to some of it. I swear it's so good. Put it on while you're drawing or vacuuming or feeding your fish. I don't know.
Listen to it while
But
you drive.
7 does a lot of things that I think Persona 5 was trying very hard to do, but does them so much more effectively and so much more eloquently.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree with that.
and again, I speak with a limited perspective as somebody who has lived in America their whole life. I, as a white Westerner who has never been to Japan and only knows about anything from what I have read
or seen,
or seen,
or played.
it hits home a lot harder.
I also think it also they took more actual risks with Yakuza 7.
Yes.
They played it less safe. It's an excellent game. If you haven't played it, go play it. You'll totally love it. Or you won't.
And
I don't know. I'm not going to judge you for it.
Not everybody's cup of tea, but it doesn't have to be. And the other thing too that I think makes 7 as effective as it is. Now we've gone from 8, we are going into 7. I apologize, Stross.
Oh boy,
But
we're gonna have to do a postmortem for that one, aren't we?
we are, yeah. You have no say in the matter.
No,
but
it's at this point we're gonna have to. I have a lot of opinions about that game and how it's written. Good opinions.
But I think the other thing that makes 7 work, and that I hope that they remember when they're writing 8, is there is power in letting your character be kind of a loser. Like, genuinely actually a loser, not just, the endearing accoutrements of loserdom, but, Ichiban was in prison for a good chunk of his life. He goes back out onto the streets with not the best social skills, with, I don't know, no money.
No money, no fame, nothing going on for him. I do feel like they didn't forget that because we're introduced to 8 with Ichiban's naked booty.
Yes.
Which,
but
A+ material, by the way.
But it's kind of a tightrope walk because it never really feels like Ichiban's like he's the butt of the joke. You don't feel like you're necessarily laughing at him. You're like, this guy has gone through some shit, and sometimes he's kind of silly and, a little embarrassing maybe, but he's got such a good heart and such a genuine core of humanity to him that you want to see him succeed, whatever that success may end up looking like.
It's definitely a case of they walked a very difficult tightrope.
They did.
And it worked, and we're hoping it works again.
And it's made all the better by surrounding him with similarly kind of
down on their luck folk.
Kind of marginalized people in all their own different ways. I mean, fucking Nanba's homeless.
Nanba's homeless. Adashi's getting old, and everyone's just like, it's time for you to retire, Grandpa.
Yeah.
Seiko is like an older woman in a world in a society that really isn't super kind to that.
Or it's the thing of, it's like cake after Christmas, nobody wants it after the 25th.
Which is wrong. I always want cake after Christmas.
Oh, fuck yeah. I want cake any time of the year.
Yeah, well, not any time of the year. Not after I already had cake.
Yes.
That would just be silly. Unless it's, hilariously, around Christmas. See? No, it's like it's the only time like my family has like a dessert platter out is like seeing my mother's side on Christmas Eve, where it's like, here's the angel food cake, here's the actual cake, here's a Yule log, and here's a
Here's your
pie.
just desserts.
No, there's nothing just about it. It's more of like, hello, heart attack.
Unjust desserts.
Delicious though.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just there's a level of like these are all people who have lost in some way. The later parties less so than the initial ones, but conceptually speaking.
Well, I mean, even still, like Zhao and Jungi, like they've
Oh yeah.
they've both got their stuff going on.
Yeah, but it's them less so than the initial four. That's not an insult. It's you need somebody with a bit more going on for 'em.
Well, I think Zhao is especially troubled because who else wears leggings under their Bermuda shorts?
He does, and he's fabulous for it.
He does fucking serve.
Zhao is a look, and that is a look that someone has tried to copy since and has failed miserably.
I ache to look at him because he is so gender.
He is such a look. And everyone I know loves his look, but I think everyone also agrees that no one else could pull that off.
No, that is a look for him and him alone.
Truly a style icon for something.
King.
A king indeed.
King shit.
But yeah, basically our hope is, and then we're not worried about we're hoping that Infinite Wealth improves on the gameplay, which was good, but needed a little work.
Just some, a nip here, tuck there,
Yeah. Just, make stuff work a bit better. This is your second chance, so it should play better than the last one.
Just, sew up those gameplay mechanics, make them a little more on the mark.
Yeah, tighten them up a bit. And we're hoping the writing is at least somewhere in the same ballpark as 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to be as good, but, we're hoping. Yeah. Also, I'm so happy they brought back the sad sub-story music.
Ah, yes.
The same organ. Like, if you've played a Yakuza game, you know exactly what music I'm talking about. It's the same one, no matter what game it is.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. It is. I love that it's been that way for God knows how long, and they refuse to change it. God bless our GG Studios. They know when they hit a home run.
Do.
Yeah, also that when you finish the sub story. But yeah, no, I think that's it.
No.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
No, you first.
No joke though, I do hear like the sub-story completion tune in my head every time I finish like some big thing I've been meaning to get done.
And you're gonna be doing that after this. But before that, I feel like that's a good time to end our discussion on Yakuza. Or well, technically, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. The 8 is now sideways. So Sardo, I have a question for you.
What's up, Stross?
The hell you been watching?
Oh, the hell have I been watching? That is a good question. I haven't been watching a lot lately, I'll be real. Like, work has been keeping me a very busy boy.
Oh, no.
I have been reading A Brother's Price by Wen Spencer, which, have you ever read A Brother's Price, Stross?
No, I haven't.
It is kind of a low fantasy story, and it's set in a universe where things are a little bit flip-flopped, and everything is under the rule of matriarchy. Women run everything. You've probably heard this tune before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thing of, men are born very infrequently, and they are often married off into polygamous kind of relationships where they are shared by multiple sisters, and it is about a young lad named Jaren, who is a humble farm boy with many, many sisters, who draws the eye of the queen after he saves her sister. And it's kind of like a harem comedy almost, like a harem comedy fantasy kind of dealio, but it's really well written, actually. It's surprisingly well done. It's like, this sounds kind of fun and trashy, and it's like, it is, but it's like, well done.
All right. Good for you, Brothers Price. And then he gets pegged.
And there's like endless paragraphs dedicated to describing how beautiful and delicate Jaren is, and I support this twink in his quest.
This twink who is destined to be put in a skirt.
This irresistibly beautiful twink that all the women want.
Yay.
And also it's pretty cool because like lesbianism and like general Wulu stuff is very normalized in this universe, which this was written a couple decades back, so good for them for being chill about that.
I will always love, my favorite pronunciation is Will. But it has to be said very quickly for maximum impact.
I've always been partial to LGBT, just as.
LGBT is also really good. I like that one too.
But yeah, that's what I've been reading. I haven't been watching a whole lot.
What the hell you've been watching is this what it's called.
What about you?
I haven't been watching much as per usual because, well, I do know some stuff about that has been updated for Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm going to tell you, Sardo, I'm not going to tell you about them until after we finish Edge Runners.
Okay.
It's Edge Runners related.
Uh-huh.
I'm so going to hurt you. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing now. It's going to hurt.
Good.
You're going to love it, but you're also going to be like, I hate this, but I love this. Let's see. I finished not Ace Combat 6, Armored Core 6 a while back. That was really fun.
Hey, very nice.
That's been very popular with the LGBTs actually also on the internet, as you probably noticed.
The LGBTs love the giant robots.
We do love the giant robots. My favorite meme has been I'm Melania, Blade of Mikola, and everyone's like, oh no. Sekiro, aha. 621. Bang. Your sword means nothing to my giant laser. I'd like to introduce you to the Songbird.
And it does look like a pretty cool game. I have not played it myself, but it looks cool.
Oh no, it's you would love it. I mean, I'm not sure you'd be any good at it, but you would love it just as like a concept.
Oh, I'm not good at plenty of things. Doesn't mean I don't love them.
Oh, that's true.
Like Yakuza.
Yeah, see, there you go. The difference is that actually gives you an easy mode. Want to make this game easy? Yes, you can. Doesn't help you deliver that pizza, though.
And for those of you who haven't watched my streams, let it rest in eternal memory the time I tried and failed 3 times to deliver a pizza in Yakuza 0.
The best part is the ending of that sub-story. She wasn't even asking for her pizza. She was asking for her visa. Womp womp.
The way that you laughed at my struggles haunts me to this day. I have never known such shame in my life.
I want to be clear. I was laughing because after a certain point, all you could do was laugh.
I was laughing too, to be fair, but it was agonized laughter.
It was to the point where all you could do was laugh because it was going so poorly. Not to insult you, it's just like,
oh no.
I know you're taking it that way, but I wanted to be made abundantly clear for our audience. It's just after a point, all you could do was laugh.
It was comical.
It was like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Did you even succeed at the pizza?
Yes, I did. I eventually did it.
That's I couldn't remember.
I finished the sub story.
I was pretty sure you did, but I just wanted to make sure, Mike.
I did get it done.
I didn't want to announce that you did, and you go like, I didn't.
No, I did it.
See,
I delivered the fucking pizza. Are you happy?
Yes, I am. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. That means a lot, actually.
Hey, it's not about how many times you do it. It's all that matters is that you do. I've also been watching a lot of Mandalore videos again because Mandalore Gaming,
Yeah.
he had a new video recently.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He
I have to.
oh, what was it on? It was some. It wasn't the
Let
Stasis
me
one. There was one after that.
hold on. Let me figure it.
Yeah. Because if you don't watch Mandalore Gaming, if you want to learn about weird ass PC games that are neat, he's the man for you.
Oh, he's got so many good videos. Let's see. Yeah, it's Stasis Bone Totem.
Yeah.
Is his very newest one.
Yeah, Bone Totem. Speaking of a game that, like, super fascinating.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like the one that I like fall asleep to on a regular basis. It's the Mystery of the Druids one.
The Druids. Oh, that one. I love when he talks about a janky like adventure game for the PC. Those are always amazing.
And he also reviewed one of my favorite ludicrously underappreciated indie horror games, Paratopic. Check that one out. It's like 13 minutes. Like go watch that.
Also, while we're on it, because I also just saw it, though No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. Also a good
Yeah.
Also, watched his Arcanum review again, because Arcanum is one of those games where I'm like, I wish you were better, so I would play you. Because the entire concept of that game is fucking nuts.
Yes.
Loved that.
But I fall asleep to his videos on the regular, and that is like the highest praise I can give.
He's got like a very soothing bass baritone voice.
Wonderful voice, fascinating content, really well done, well researched.
Yeah, I like the fact that there is somebody out there who's like, I found some weird ass old game. Here you go. This is what I thought of it. Also, if this sounds interesting, I got GOG to bring down the price for you because I have that power now.
He is a prince of a man, as far as I can see.
Hell yeah. He also reviewed a personal favorite of mine, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous.
Yeah!
And that, if he can't sell you on it, and I can't sell you on it, well, I sold Sardo on it. Not to buy it.
You did sell me. But to check it out.
And hey, it's fun. But yeah.
It was fun.
It's fun. So that's what I've been doing.
And I guess one more thing.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
On the Yakuza front, before I forget, because we didn't mention the other Yakuza thing that is not creating as much noise, but like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
That's coming out later this year. We'll talk more about it once it's out and we've played it.
But from what we can see so far, it takes place in between the events of Yakuza 7 and Yakuza 8, which should be interesting. It is Kiryu focused.
But not as we know him, because he's Secret Agent Kiryu.
And you know what his code name is?
What?
Joryu.
The worst part is I would believe that worked in real life.
Oh yeah. And I want to discuss the thing that I am most intrigued.
Here, I'll just say it. We've talked about this before. I know we did on the podcast, but for those, we're about to enter the Nishitani zone, so go for it.
Homare Nishitani III.
We're gonna find out more about what the fuck his deal is. And,
oh my god, there's 3 of them.
And you're like, oh, there's 3 of them.
And this guy fascinates me. I want to know what the fuck is going on here. Because
I'm excited to figure out the fuck is up with this guy. He looks weird.
And now Nishitani is apparently a hereditary title, much like Magoichi, where it is passed down to the dude who is wild enough to claim the mantle. I'm gonna be real. This fella is his character is modeled after and voiced by Kim Jae-wook, and he's the new patriarch of the Kijin clan, which is apparently still a thing. But Stross, okay. As somebody who is not infested with the love of Nishitani, as I am, what's your impression of this guy? Like, what are your first takeaways on
My
him?
first takeaway is I'm curious to see if he could even like capture half of the absolute madness that is Nishitani.
And I don't want to give him an unfair shake because I'm sure he'll be interesting in his own right, but those are some damn big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I'm in wait and see mode because it's not fair to judge a character before they even happened.
But Nishitani, he was there for like 10 minutes total screen time in Yakuza 0, and look at the effect he's had. I'm not the only person who feels the way I do about him.
No, but I don't know if anyone feels it as intensely as you do.
Oh, there's some other diehard Nishitani
Oh,
fans out
I
there.
know, but I'm saying you're number one.
Oh, I'm number one.
You were
He was
number
number
one.
I don't know. That's the thing that's holding my interest on this because I want to know how he measures up. That's all I had to say on that.
No, I think
Otherwise,
that's fair.
uh, it seems interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
we'll see.
we'll
We'll
see.
see.
We'll see. We'll probably talk more about it when we play it.
But other than that, Stross, got anything else for tonight?
No, I think we're good. We before we go, I'm gonna mention this. We as a duo are gonna have a special Patreon exclusive after this of horrifying things.
Buckle up, fuckers!
Just oh lord, it will be announced when it goes up on Monday with the episode. But oh lord,
I'm. First of all, I want to preface this by saying, without giving anything away, this was my choice. Nobody bullied me into this. Nobody peer pressured me into this. This was all my decision. I think that the friend who kind of prodded me into doing this was absolutely joking. And I am choosing to actually do this.
see the problem is you challenge us, and the problem is we take it seriously when it's stupid.
I'm like Nishitani. I can't resist doing some dumb bullshit just because
For the funsies, for the lulz.
for the lulz.
Well, folks, I think that we're gonna call this an episode because we're gonna have to mentally prepare ourselves for insanity.
I'm gonna go die.
Yay! That's Sardo. You can follow him on Blue Sky at Uncle Death, Twitch at Uncle Death, Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 his time in the mountains.
Yes.
Up in the tall mountains, Joker.
I'm the lonely goat herd.
Yodelay.
Yodelay, yodelay.
You can also follow him at Autopsy Garlands on Twitter. Ooh, excuse me. Oh my. That was the root beer I had. But yes, you're at Autopsy Garlands on Twitter. And Marquis Belial for the art account. I'm Almighty Stross on Blue Sky, Twitter. I stream at Almighty Stross on Twitch at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Come tomorrow night from this Monday when this goes up to witness Yakuza Like a Dragon and watch the VOD if you missed the opening.
Yeah, it's gonna be good as hell.
Hell yeah. Sorry we'll be there at least for Sunday. We'll see how he feels Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not invited, it's just that work has been killing you.
No, you are definitely gonna play Yakuza and not invite me out of spite.
God, that might actually end our friendship.
It might not end it, but I would definitely be sad.
The only reason I wouldn't invite you is to be like, no, Soto, you are sick. Go rest in bed. And then I get like a large wizard beard when I say it. You
Saruman the silly.
Yeah, like that. All right, folks.
Yeah.
You have a good night now.
Night, everybody.
Bye. See, we can do one that's under 3 hours. It's not a trend, I swear.
We're capable.
For reals.
We can do it.
We can do
Okay.
it, Joker.
Joker.
Goodbye.